Hello, my name is Bob Hessman, and I would like to welcome you to this presentation about setting up and financing a related finance company for your dealership. The reason it is called a related finance company, it is that it in fact is related to your dealership. During this presentation, we will also refer to the related finance company as a RFC, for which it is most commonly referred. Although there are many benefits to be discussed, it needs to be emphasized that IRS protocol needs to be taken very seriously in your structure so that your RFC is compliant and not disallowed once you decide to move forward. For that reason, we suggest that from day one, as part of the process, you involve your existing accountant or tax attorney in the formation of your RFC. By the IRS's definition, a related finance company, or RFC, is a finance company owned by an automobile dealership. It provides financing for customers that cannot obtain financing through normal channels, generally due to poor credit. While the RFC model was originally a tool designed for the buy here, pay here industry, as a result of the numerous benefits associated with the RFC, many new car dealerships are now utilizing this type of model for some of their used car sales in order to generate additional revenue. In the event you don't have the cash needed for financing your RFC, our RFC lending team can help. Now, as they say, let's dig into the weeds and see how the RFC may make sense for your new car dealership. When picturing a RFC, think of putting money you make from your dealership in your left pocket and the money you make from your RFC in your right pocket. They're both your pockets, so if you can find a way to fill both pockets while taking advantage of some of the other opportunities while doing so, I think you would agree that makes good common sense. Please keep the left pocket and the right pocket analogy in mind, as we will come back to that in a minute. There are numerous reasons why a dealer may choose to set up their RFC, but there are several that dominate. One, the dealership wants to keep more of the foot traffic that enters their lot purchasing a vehicle from their lot. No dealer likes to see a potential customer go down the street to a competitor based on the fact their competitor could accommodate a loan they couldn't. When foot traffic enters your lot, you want your customer to know that no matter what, they can get financed. You can give them a competitive rate and they don't need to shop elsewhere. The second reason is the desire to sell more used vehicles based on their lucrative margins. The third dominant reason is the huge tax advantage we will discuss in a moment. But mentioning a few other reasons, building customer loyalty for future sales, generating additional service bay revenue, and in some cases, the lack of available financing for higher risk consumers. There are also operational advantages that need to be pointed out. The RFC provides the opportunity for 100% dealer-controlled financing, and the guidelines, they're set by the dealer. Once you establish your RFC, it is much easier to establish an ongoing line of credit due to a clear separation of collateral from the dealership's vehicle sales operation. The RFC is not nearly as fragmented or complex as the dealership itself. It is also easier for a financial institution that may be providing you a line of credit to perfect a collateral interest in the installment contracts through the RFC. Thus, the RFC eliminates any financial conflict of interest with your dealership. Also, with the RFC, you can defer taxes on the unearned discount on the loans your RFC finances. This is very important, and I will get into that over the course of the next few slides. If you recall my analogy of your dealership being in your left pocket and your RFC in your right pocket, we will now connect the dots for that strategy. Now, as a disclaimer, sometimes I forget which pocket I put the dealership in and which pocket I put the RFC in. I have been challenged on that, so just remember that it really doesn't make a difference as long as they are both your pockets. Now, this is where the RFC model begins to get juicy. Depending on a franchise dealer's business model, the RFC, located in your right pocket, can legally purchase the contract from the dealership, located in your left pocket, at a substantial discount, for example, 20 to 30%. The RFC can then defer taxes on the discount until which time the discount is actually earned through the collection process for each year collected. This is where I have had dealerships tell me, wait a minute, you're asking me to sell my paper on a vehicle I just sold at a 20 to 30% discount? And the answer, yes, I am. Remember, they are both your pockets and you want to build additional wealth. Keep in mind that if you had sold and financed that vehicle through your dealership, you are paying tax on the profit associated with that vehicle, even if you haven't collected on the loan. It needs to be noted that the discount accepted by the dealership and received by the RFC is not a figure that can be pulled out of the air and will then be automatically approved by the IRS. The formulas used in determining the discount is a topic for another discussion. However, there are justifications why the 25% figure is generally an acceptable percent. When used properly, however, the RFC equates to the largest IRS approved tax deduction for your dealership. The whole idea behind this model is increasing the number of tire kickers into paying customers and making more money. One question that is always raised by those interested in structuring the RFC is how the numbers work out from a profitability standpoint. While there are numerous influences affecting the answer to that question, let's take a look at some sample data. Keep in mind that this is a snapshot of the data extracted from a complex spreadsheet. Contingent on your interest, I'd be more than happy to set up an online meeting to explain the detail on the spreadsheet. Now, in this example, we will assume the dealership is financing 15 vehicles per month through their related finance company, and to do so they need approximately $105,000 a month to finance those vehicles. To keep it simple, each vehicle sells for $10,000. Dealer cost of the vehicle is $7,000. The down payment received is $500. The dealer overhead is $500. The installment sales contract to the consumer is $9,500. And the dealer sells the contract to the RFC for $7,125. That's, again, a 25% discount. The average loan size to the RFC is $9,500 financed. The average APR will be 19%. This interest rate is quite common for the higher risk consumers. The average loan term will be 42 months. The number of dealers or deals financed per month will be 15. The cost of capital as an estimate will be 7.25%. The discount purchase price from the dealership at a 25% discount will be $7,125 paid. That's a specific discount of $2,375. We will assume a $1.8 million line of credit. We will assume normal operating expenses for mitigating credit risk, such as software required, GPS for security, other options, losses, etc. Now, using those assumptions, Here is how it evolves into RFC dollars and cents over a 5-year period. Keep in mind, again, this is a snapshot of an extremely detailed model, and due to time restraints, we can't fit all the detail into this overview. The purpose, however, is to provide you a reasonable expectation for an efficiently run RFC operation. Using the data we referenced in the prior slide, in concept, this is how it would affect your right pocket. You would exhaust your $1.8 million line of credit approximately in month 30. If you continue to only do 15 deals a month, you would not need any more financial resources to continue at that time. Remember, you're buying at a 25% discount, and as such, your cash flow would be able to carry 15 deals a month moving forward, plus providing you the cash to further pay off the $1.8 million line of credit. Using this model, by month 60, your receivables would be worth $4,063,000. You would have paid back all but $1,050,000 of your original $1.8 million line of credit. The difference between your receivables and your loan debt would be $3,013,000. And again, at that point, you could continue paying down your debt and still book 15 RFC deals per month. It should be noted that this is after paying all associated expenses for running your RFC, including all operational expenses. I have prepared, again, as mentioned, a detailed month-to-month pro forma showing cost data and cash flow. And if you are interested in learning more, I'd be more than happy to set up a Skype or Zoom meeting to get down into the weeds on that. There are substantial tax advantages. Keep in mind, the structure is such that the dealership sold a $9,500 note to the RFC for $7,125. That's, again, the 25% discount, thus making only a few $100s for the dealership, depending on what the dealership's cost basis was for the vehicle. It should be noted that in establishing the proper discount, the idea is that dealership doesn't go upside down in the vehicle from a total cost perspective prior to selling the paper to your RFC. As a reminder, it should be noted that if the dealership had financed the vehicle directly or sold the note at face value, it would be responsible for 100% of the profit on that vehicle in that tax year. Your RFC puts that problem in check. By selling it to the RFC only pays on the discount as it is earned each year and not the unearned amount. Using the 42-month term example, the RFC would pay tax on the amount of the discount it earned in year 1 for that tax year, later for the discount earned in year 2, year 3, and so on. I'd like to thank you for your time regarding this presentation. For more information regarding more details for structuring the RFC, covering such agenda items as the pro forma details, underwriting guidelines, servicing software, compliance, managing and servicing loans, and of course, financing, please contact Bob Hessman. My cell phone is 951-551-1925. Thank you for viewing this short video.